And we are back. Here I am, Fly Navarro, and today I am being joined by Mr. Dean Lambros. Dean, please introduce yourself to the people.
Hey, Fly. My name is Dean Lambros. I was charter boat captain for 15 years before getting into the insurance space, and it kind of brings us to where we are today. And from I ran a boat called the Canyon Runner, kind of diversified into the technology space a little bit, and as well as joined several folks on the quest of freelance fishing and just getting to go out and enjoy something that has been a long part of my life for almost 2 decades now.
All right. Well, before we get into all your background in
Mhm.
IT and all that stuff, Dean, you were at my tournament this weekend at Chubb Key, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, you were with the Checkmate guys?
Correct. Yes, sir.
They were, listen, man, those young kids kept calling me sir. It's so weird when I see these kids that are like 27 years. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. I'm like, come on, man. It's just Fly. It ain't sir. It's just Fly. It's not Captain Fly. It's not Mr. Fly. Now, the only thing I have been working on this. I'm trying to get an honorary doctorate. So if I do get that, I'm gonna make every motherfucker call me Dr. Fly. I could be like Dr. Spock, man. It would be so cool. And listen, I don't want to say that I've done anything to deserve a doctorate in fishing, but I was on a boat talking and yeah, I'll give the details. I was fishing on a boat in we were in the Gulf of Oman where all this war is going on right
How
now.
about that? That's
So
pretty cool.
I was there with all my Saudi buddies,
Hmm.
and there's two certain colleges, kind of like a Yale and Harvard deal or a
Hmm.
Auburn, Alabama deal. So you can tell that there's this little rivalry between, oh, I graduated from here and I graduated from there. And I go, okay, which one of you guys can get me an honorary doctorate? They're like, what? I go, listen, I'm helping you guys bring recreational fishing into Saudi Arabia. Who can get me a doctorate? And that's whose flag I'll fly. Oh, it's
That's
become
awesome.
such a funny ass joke. And one of them is something like the Saudi School of Oil and Petroleum. And
Interesting.
I don't care. If you give me a doctorate in fishing, psh, I'll wear it with pride. I'll put a flag back there. That's my alma mater, man.
That's awesome.
So tell me how you got to know the guys on the checkmate and what brought you over to Chubb last weekend.
Yeah, so kind of like interesting story there. Let's just step back a little bit from Checkmate for a minute. So the first
Okay.
time I heard about some of your tournaments there that you were doing, I'll be honest, I didn't even know that you were organizing it. And my buddy Charlie from Following Seas, someone that's almost like a
Okay.
brother in the fishing world to me, we spent a lot of time working on a charter boat together. He was telling me about going to Chubb and fishing. And I had one of our previous charter customers from Canyon Runner say, let's go do a Chubb tournament. And so we did it. And that was when I realized they were open to the public, right? Which was super cool. And that was his way, that particular customer's way of going to Chubb because he liked it. He ended up attempting to join or something along those lines. And that's how it came to be something for Checkmate. It's just that we started fishing together and I got the invitation to go and do the trip with them in October. So that was pretty good. And then the
Yeah.
owner of the Checkmate does our technology platform, right? So
Okay.
he handles our tech stack on his startup VM. And so it's just a great atmosphere, great event. And it's just a great place. So
Well,
I had a lot of fun.
that's the biggest. I don't want to. It's not even an issue. That's just the biggest. Has been the biggest hurdle is
Hmm.
two of the three tournaments are open to the public.
Right,
And first of all, I'm very fortunate and I'm very blessed. I was hosting tournaments over there before they went private.
right.
And when they went private, I got the call, listen, you can't have tournaments over here anymore. And I'm like, okay, I get it. It sucks, but I get it. And then they're like, hold on a second. Let's talk to the attorneys. Let's figure something out. And it gives people the opportunity to check out what the club is like to see if you want to be a member, go spend a week over there, go
Hmm.
fishing. Um, so little by little, like last year, I think we only had in the three tournaments, I think we only had like two non-members be a part of it this year. The two tournaments, there's 10 non-members in both tournaments. So it's great. People are getting the opportunity, and there's still a lot of people. I talked to somebody, they're like, no, no, we can't fish it because it's private. And I'm like, no, we open it up to the public for this reason. So you can get the opportunity and check it. And um, I I was lucky and I got the contract to host events there, and it's actually an exclusive contract. So I've talked with Dave about possibly creating a couple of more, probably just for members, because the membership is starting to get pretty big enough, and everybody that works on the island loves the events because it brings people in,
Right.
and for people that make money on gratuities and tips and stuff like that. They enjoy it, and I'm just happy to keep everybody happy. It provides a lot of work to the Bahamas. It provides work for everybody that works in Chubb. So I'm happy to do it, man. I enjoy the shit out of it. And you saw it's a pretty laid back, relaxing, camaraderie filled tournament where we all just kind of hang out and have fun.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great vibe you got going on there, and wish you the best of luck with the continued success of it because it speaks volumes, right? You have folks that want to keep coming back and do them, and that's awesome.
Yeah, so it was nice to see you over there, and I really enjoyed. I'm assuming he's the captain, the young man that always called me up, and then I'd see him at check-ins and stuff. Super nice guy, very polite, just a go-getter. I enjoy seeing that youngness in our industry. So it's pretty cool. What's the operation all about? Is there a big boat and a little boat, or? How
Yeah,
how is that?
they have a yacht that's like a mothership operation,
Okay.
that programs. How do I say it? It's new. It's on the newer side. They're
Yeah, yeah.
figuring things out,
That's why I'm
what works for
asking. I,
them.
I I had
Yeah,
never heard them before, but I wasn't sure if they had a center console or if they had a sport fish as their
they have a
fishing
sport
boat.
fish, a center console, and they're just figuring things out,
All right.
what works for
Did what?
them and
Which one
what they
did you
want to
fish
do.
on for the tournament?
We were on their Viking on their
Okay.
90, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. That was the part that I was trying to understand. I'm like,
Hmm.
are they fishing on the big boat or they? Because I saw the little boat, and I didn't. The weather was perfect. I mean, you couldn't complain about the weather. So I wasn't sure exactly how you were fishing it. So, but listen, I'm just glad you guys had a good time and everybody enjoyed the event. And that's my biggest thing. I just want people having fun over there.
Absolutely.
So, what got you into the charter fishing? Tell us about what started you and a little bit about your career, your background that got us into this.
Yeah, so just, Spark Notes, always been captivated by the water, started sailing. I'm from Western Connecticut, which is sort of an odd place for a captain or waterman to come from, right? Locally had like lobsters and oysters and clams here. The lobstering in the last 20 years has really kind of phased out just due to some, they say climate change. I'm really not sure scientifically why, but it seems to be all Eastern Long Island Sound now. And so the shellfish thing is big here. Oysters, kelp, clams. I was never involved in that. I was always in the sailing thing. And just, I don't know, there's a magnetic attraction to the water that I enjoyed. Thought I would always go work on a yacht just because I liked working on a boat, right? And that's just what I knew. And then I got into the fishing thing slowly. I started fishing with a gentleman named Mike out of Martha's Vineyard and started doing striped bass, rockfish, sea bass, things like that. Captivated by it. Got more and more into the whole blue water, tuna, shark, mid-shore fishing that we have here locally from, Maryland up through southern Massachusetts, Cape Cod, and totally felt the bug. Got involved with the Canyon Runner group when I was young, I was 19, and just started off as, it wasn't even a title, but it would be like a second mate, right? Bucket scrubber. And just slowly worked my way up. And Canyon Runner was a unique program because you had a couple of three captains on there, right? Some of them have gone out to start their own operations. Some of them have gone out to run prestigious private programs. And you just get a lot of reps quickly And when you're fishing with really accomplished fishermen, they're all going to be detail oriented. And that's what they were, whether that was boat maintenance, whether it was business savviness, fishing acumen, everything you could kind of think of, right? You get a lot of reps on it and you get a lot of different perspective and kind of shows you how to kind of read things and shows you what the decision making process leads you to, right? And when you get three or four different perspectives and a bunch of different mates, you start to learn there's a lot of different ways to do things, but everyone has a collective goal at the end of it, right? Whether it's to catch more fish or whether it's to do something safely or entertain the charter, you have all of that exposure, and so it really helps you get a lot of fishing in it. I just love the fishing. I always have. That's really been what I've been really focused on, and I enjoy it. And so had an opportunity 3 or 4 years in to start running the boat, and ran a boat for 10 years. Started when I was 22, and I mean it just never ended. Really, it was pretty awesome, and we were able to do tournaments. We were able to just do commercial fishing, private fishing. Got the opportunity to travel and that was interesting. But always just keep coming back to the canyons, those overnight trips, they're long 24, 36-hour trips. And it was just a unique niche, right? And you got to go a lot, pretty simple charter boat. And I enjoyed that. That was really, it just worked for me. It fit my personality. And it was good to me. We spent a lot of time doing a lot of in-house yard work. So I got to really learn how to fix a boat, build a boat, break a boat, unfortunately.
That's just
You
part
know,
of the
all
beast,
that
man. That's
stuff,
just
right?
normal.
And
Yeah.
you learn those humbling lessons of it's not really how much you screw up, but it's all about how you kind of present yourself and fix and take responsibility and accountability for that and do things within reason. And that was really rewarding. And I got to do a lot of that with my friends, and some of them have stayed with us, some of them have gone on to do other things and accomplish other goals in the fishing world or within the industry. So that's been cool. And to watch the advancement of the industry in the last 15 years has just been tremendous. And 5 years ago, I stopped running the boat day to day. I got into the freelance sort of fishing consultant, fishing guide of sorts, right? Where I go fishing with folks and just help them improve their game or just provide advice. Um, and I pivoted into the marine insurance space, which is where I sit now. That's my real job.
Okay.
And again, that was just there was an opportunity in the insurance space, and then we had a lot of interesting customers that were very accomplished in that financial insurance space. And I would always ask them if you were getting in my age, at the time I was late 20s, 30s, where would you focus? And they said, just write a line of business that you understand deeper than most, right? I'm not going to claim to know everything in life, but I
Yeah.
think I present a certain perspective, right? And that's sort of what we do in our insurance business is just help folks that have anything on the water, whether it's a house, a business, a boat, and we just provide perspective on that. And we're fortunate we've built a nice business built around our advisory and experience there. So it's been good to take the fishing, morph that into the insurance space, and try and help folks that are struggling there, point the flashlight on some of the mystery of insurance. It's not exactly the most invigorating topic, but it's something that's needed,
It's
right? For
necessary. It's like
yeah,
oxygen, man. You need it.
it's so true, right?
Yeah.
So that's been interesting to work on, and we also work on this technology product through Canyon Runner, right? We have an in-house service that we started to embrace more technology with, and so we've been doing that and just staying busy, which is good because that's what Canyon Runner was. We were busy all the time, running all these trips. At the height of my sort of career, if you will, on the water, I was working 330 days a year, right? Living out of the very same duffel bag I travel with now. I jokingly say my black and white Guy Cotton. Um, but it's been good to us. So it's fun, and fishing is just something that for me, it's just ingrained in my blood, right? It's a deep addiction that I'll always enjoy, and I like to see other people go out, explore it, learn it. It's cool. And at first I was fishing because I wanted to learn it. Then it was fishing for me. I wanted to catch those fish. Probably felt like I had something to prove, and now it's sharing those experiences with others and helping them sort of work through their pain points and just learning it and understanding it, as well as I'll tell you, some of the most rewarding experiences is those humbling experiences when you get to go fishing with a great crew and they show you how to rig a ballyhoo a little bit differently or run a boat a little differently or a little trick, right? And I've been so fortunate to have so many great friends and colleagues that have shared that with me over the years. So that's been
That's
really, really
that
rewarding, like really cool.
that's the cool part.
Yeah.
Oh, we're so gonna have a water competition on this
Water.
podcast.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's so funny. You guys, we were talking about how much water we drink before this thing. Mm.
The
Before we
little things
continue
in life.
going on, I wanna go back to the chartering and the canyon runner.
Yeah.
Um, I, some of the things I'd like to talk about is where were you guys based out of? And then
Hmm.
what you mentioned traveling. What were some of the traveling destinations you guys went to?
Yeah. So we were based out of Manasquan Inlet, New Jersey,
Okay.
right? Um, Tremendously competitive inlet, tremendously some tremendous talent in that inlet, right? That was pretty cool. And so we started fishing out of that. That boat's been around for almost 45 years. Well, it's sold the boat now, but previously it was around for 40 years, right? With the current ownership. And so we started doing those canyon trips, right? A lot of overnight trips, long 24, 36-hour trips. So trolling during the day, chunking, shark fishing at night, sword fishing at night. And then, you're there for the evening and the morning, which is really fun. You don't have to do the travel in between in the dark, right? So you're traveling a lot in the middle of the day when the tuna bite isn't as consistent. Um, so based out of New Jersey, and we would take the boat to Montauk. We've taken it out to Massachusetts before. It's gone down to North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, right? And I wasn't the only captain that's taken the boat to those places. Um, we had a Carolina boat at one point, and so that was a Richie Howell. And that boat did the Miami. I think they did some Bahamas with it, and it came all the way up through New Jersey, out to Long Island as well. And you're staying in that tuna fishing niche, right? We also did some marlin fishing. That really wasn't our niche, though. It's mostly that tuna fishing clientele from that neck of the woods, right? They want the meat. So mahis, tunas, out of big eyes, yellow fins, and blue bluefins, longfin.
Yeah, that whole New Jersey, Long Island area is very, very popular with the tuna fishing.
Yeah.
I never realized my first job on a boat. I fished out of Babylon in or Fire Island Inlet
Oh
out of
yeah.
Babylon, New
Okay.
York.
Yeah.
So, listen, I came from Florida where you go a quarter of a mile offshore and you're fishing. And we left Fire Island Inlet and I'm like, okay, when do we start? He's like, man, we got 96 miles to go just to get to the tip of the Hudson Canyon.
Yeah.
I'm like, we got how far to go?
It's amazing.
Oh my God, it was nuts. I'm like, but it was a whole new world to me. I mean, listen, if you caught a blue marlin, it was bycatch. Nobody was
Yeah.
trying to catch
Oh yeah.
a marlin. People were, uh, uh, get that thing in, man. The big eyes are around, and that's what you were chunking all night long. But man, what you want to talk about life? It was totally different than what I was used to here in Florida. You get out to those canyons and you anchor up overnight, and the water just comes alive.
Very interesting place. Very
It
interesting place.
What would you say was, especially I'm specifically talking at night,
Mhm.
what was the strangest thing you ever saw?
It's interesting because I've had this question asked before, and there's not one specific event, right?
Okay.
But there's this incredible migration that takes place, right? With all these creatures that come to the squids, the lancet fish. Sometimes if you're in really good, rich Gulf Stream water, you'll see the man o' wars, you'll see a whale shark. I mean, I would say probably a whale shark at the back of the boat is like the most majestic, other than those manta rays, because I've seen a lot more manta rays than I
Yeah.
have whale sharks. That's pretty cool when they come up and park themselves right behind the transom. You could almost pet it. Of course, you're not going to, but that's really cool. I think my big takeaway from going to the canyons is every experience is different. It's the same, but different. It's the same ride. You see some same lobster pots, but every time is different. And there's a memory associated with it. And that is very cool. That's
Okay.
just very interesting in it. Having gone and done some traveling and seen different outdoor guides and asking them about this in a different way, they all kind of say something similar to that. It's just there's like a majestic sense when you're out, whether you're in the mountains or you're guiding in an island or you're guiding out in the canyon or you're a fisherman or a hunter. right? It's a very interesting, it's a very rich connection to the environment, which I think is
There,
very interesting.
there's really something, and I talk about it all the time. Because of all the different groups out there that, everybody's fighting for their little thing, whatever, you believe in. Some people want conservation for inshore and offshore, and some people want us not to fish at all. And I'm a big, I spend a lot of time, and you saw the Billfish Foundation there this week.
Yeah.
I'm on the board of that. So I'm a firm believer if you can get people to fall in love with something, they're going to want to conserve it. So I am very big on helping people fall in love with what we do, fall in love with the fishing, whichever aspect of it you like. Some people, they want tuna, they don't want uh, marlin. That's fine. Some people want inshore. Whatever it is you fall in love with, you realize you want to do everything you can to protect that. And that's what I try to focus a lot on. So, and it's because of that connection when you're out on the water, with Mother Nature, and you get to see what Mother Nature's all about.
Completely. I completely agree. I
Yeah.
was unaware that you were connected with the Billfish, and now that you say that, Billfish Foundation, now that you say that, I remember you announcing that at the tournament.
Yeah,
It's pretty cool.
I it's funny. We got a meeting coming up next week. I totally messed up my schedule. I put a tournament on the board meeting.
Oh
I
boy.
Yeah,
Happens.
I looked at the wrong count. It was on me. It's my bad. But one of the things I'm really big about is bringing them to my events,
Yeah.
not so much to raise the money because
Hmm.
it's a foundation, they need the money,
Sure.
but really so they can converse with people, so more people know about it. I started tagging, holy moly, almost 30 years ago, and I've been fortunate enough. See, nowadays they give awards to crews and all that. Back in my day, they didn't give away awards to crews. They gave away awards to anglers and captains. So
Right.
I've been very fortunate to have anglers win awards: top Atlantic angler, top blue marlin angler, top white marlin angler. I've had captains, top blue marlin captains and top Atlantic captains. So I like to see that they're getting the crews more involved. So I've been working with the Billfish Foundation for a really long time. And then as I went into business, I wanted to um, support them some more. And one
Yeah.
of the things I do is anytime I'm having an event, bring them along, introduce them to people, outreach. I notice a lot of foundations, and I'm not picking on anyone. I'm not saying this is a Billfish Foundation
Sure.
issue. This is just foundations because they're always chasing after money. They go after people that, oh, hey, can you bring us money? Can you do this? Can you do that? When really, what you need to be doing is talking to the constituents that use the resource and let them know what you're doing. Let them know that you're sitting in fishery meetings and making sure that they have quota, that they're allowed to fish for this. And that's why it's very important to me, and that's why I bring them along to the tournament, and I take care of all the expenses and make sure they're there and meet new people. You get new boat owners. Shit, we had the winners of the tournament, first boat they've ever owned.
How about that? That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. That's
So, uh,
that's fascinating. That's
yeah,
totally,
and
you know,
really, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say it's interesting you bring all this up because I think that this is one of the things that a conduit like yourself has, and then some of these foundations have, is just shining that flashlight on what's taking place in the industry and breaking it down. Because folks are naturally curious, right? And the social media kind of builds into that and just allows folks to kind of get in there and see something quickly, short form video, long form video like this, and understand what's taking place behind the curtain and embracing the crews, embracing that teamwork, that camaraderie that goes along with this is so important.
It's huge. It's instrumental. I mean, you look at a foundation like Ducks Unlimited.
Hmm.
They have college chapters. They have actual groups of duck hunters in colleges Supporting Ducks Unlimited. The grassroots effort that Ducks Unlimited does is second to none.
Yeah.
And what people don't understand, and this is where I have arguments with environmentalists all the time, and
Hmm.
I've always I differentiate between conservationists and environmental. A conservationist is somebody that uses a resource and wants to conserve it for the future. An environmentalist just wants you to leave it the fuck alone. And I don't support that. It's just my thing. I don't support it at all. There's a resource, and if you want somebody to protect it, you got to get them to love it. You know,
I agree with that. I
you
agree with that. Yeah.
you got to get them to love it if you want them. If not, then what do you got? You just got a zombie person that's regurgitating whatever you say. Hey, don't go do this. Well, have you ever gone out there and done it? Have you ever spent the morning watching ducks fly over a marsh and fall in love with being in the marsh? So when you give your $25 membership, uh, you know that somewhere down the line that money is going to buy more wetlands. Or Bill Fish Foundation, when you make your $25 membership, you know that's going to go to a satellite tag program where they're going to track a blue marlin as it circumnavigates the
Hmm.
Atlantic. Um, and again, like what you said, people, they're information driven. They want to know more. And now with the way we have social media, it's not just social media, it's the internet, it's everything.
Yeah.
Um, People, they want information when they like something, give them the information.
Yeah.
And sometimes all you're doing is starting a fire. That you're not fanning the flames, you're just starting a fire sometimes. Sometimes you are fanning the flames, you
Mm.
know. You're just providing information for people that in turn want to be more part of it. Listen, I really enjoy doing this because I spend time with my family, but we caught our first blue marlin together. So now I want to invest in that. So instead of after 5 years selling their boat and being out of it, they say, you know what, I want to buy another boat because now I'm going to have grandkids. I want to spend time with my grandkids. And the industry that's built around that continues to grow. It's not just the boat itself. You got the boat, you got the captain, you got the crew, but then you have people that provide the fuel, the people that paint it, the people, the mechanics, the insurance people, all the people uh, that help support our industry is very important. It's not just going out there and catching a fish.
Absolutely.
And
So important.
again, it's one of the things when you reached out to me and you want and we will get to your product. I promise
That's
you.
fine.
My
Yeah.
biggest thing is I want people to understand who you are
Hmm.
and your background so that you can speak about this new IT stuff that you're doing. So it's important for me that people understand it's not just oh my God, I'm going to so throw him under the bus. But when you talk to a lot of people, oh yeah, I'm okay with. I said it yesterday. I say it plenty of time. It's my fucking podcast. I can say whatever the fuck I want. I'm so going to throw some, not all, but some of the scientists that we deal with NOAA. They start implementing rules and regulations, and they may spend 3 days a year on the water. And then when guys like us are out there a a lot more, let's just say a lot more. I'm not going to say a lot because 100 days to somebody could be a lot, and 100 days to some people is only half of it. So,
Right.
um, and it bothers me. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about your background and some of the experiences you had, so that people understand. Hey, as I'm helping develop something, I'm developing it as an end user because that's to
Agree.
me that's
Yeah.
important. I,
Absolutely.
I've seen too many times that something gets developed by somebody that only does it once or twice. Hey man, why don't you do it once or twice when it's blowing 25 and it's raining? And tell me how easy it is for you to use. It's fucking nice when you're tied up to the dock, you know,
Sure.
but when it's fucking blowing and your charter or your boss and they all look up at you and are we gonna make it in? And whether you're not sure or not, you put that proud face, we got this, you know? And it's like, oh my God, did I change that Raycor? Yeah, I know I changed that Raycor. I changed that Raycor. Yeah, I changed both of them.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think we've all been there. If you've done it long enough, we've all been there. And I remember one captain said when I was first running a boat in Oregon, and like named Dennis ND assault weapon. He said to me, "Is kid, it's not a matter of if, it's just when." Right?
Exactly.
And I've always tried to keep those sort of like those in the Rolodex of sayings, right? That's just it's gonna happen. You might be like a little concerned white knuckling that ride in, or white knuckling through a situation, but it's you try and push through when you can, and I'll definitely echo what you said about the scientists. I think some folks, it's interesting how you say it, how you thread the needle between conservationist and environmentalist. And I think that I'm a part of this peripherally as an advisor to the Hudson Canyon Sanctuary, or
Oh,
proposed Hudson Canyon Sanctuary. And it's been insightful to work with some really accomplished industry professionals that were part of the fishing community, maybe some folks that ran tournaments, some folks that are more on the administrative side, right? Some of them work for large boat builders, some of them work for sort of satellite organizations, a non-governmental organization within the industry. And they're all trying, I think, deep down to do the right thing. I think sometimes regulatory capture and mission creep can get the best of folks, right? And it's a funny, fickle thing to try and build guidelines or rules or boundaries on the ocean, because the ocean knows no boundaries,
none.
right? Wind doesn't matter, waves don't matter. And it's interesting when you start to draw boxes or imaginary boxes, right? You study fishery regulation, or you study weather and how that works, or international boundaries, right? It's a very interesting. You start asking very interesting questions, and you get led to conclusions that aren't always what you assumed you'd be doing. And it's a very complex problem, and it's not so easily solved for
It's
anyone, right?
it's very easy for us to sit on the dock and complain about the scientists or what they're doing, but there's a lot of politics that go involved.
Oh yeah. No,
There's
that's it.
so much.
And I appreciate having been in the fishing industry and not having to deal with those problems. But as I've studied them, right, far from a peripheral manner, it's very interesting to see the rut some of these folks get stuck in, right? And I'm not saying anything right, wrong, or indifferent at this point because I don't have enough information, but it's very interesting to see how it works, all of the different components. It's kind of like a big traffic jam,
Yeah.
right? You go down one open lane and then two others clog up, or there's an accident here and a red light opens here, or green light. So,
It's funny because I've been a part of fishery management now for 12 years.
mhm.
And I wanted to be a part of it because I've made a great living off of it,
Yeah,
off of fishing. And I figured this was something that I could do to give back. And it's fucking frustrating, man.
totally.
It
It's
because you
very
you have
tough.
so many, like you said, you have all these little boxes. Uh you have commercial interests, then you have recreational interests, then you
Hmm.
have academics, then you have um these NGOs and these groups, these environmental groups that have a lot of money behind them. Then you have the scientists that they're getting pressed by the political faction. Hey, it's not uncommon. We don't see it, but it's not uncommon that they get a call from a politician saying, "Hey, make sure something like this passes," or just one of these giant pulls. So it's being pulled from five or six different directions. So everything is slow.
Yeah.
When you're in the private sector, when you're in the private sector and you deal with a corporation, shit's slow to begin with. But when you're in the private sector and it's a mom and pop business, and when I say mom and pop, 50 to 100 employees or less, you know,
Sure.
you got one guy that's heading the whole thing, and when he makes a decision, you just go. You just got to get him. You don't have to go through all these layers. But man, once you get into public forums, Oh, you got so many layers, and I'm very aware of the Hudson Canyon. If I'm correct, I think Peter Chabansai from the Billfish Foundation, he's on that board.
Yes. Yeah.
I remember when those were going around, I got asked, and I'm like, man, I spent some time fishing out of there, but I have no business speaking on that. I don't live up there. I haven't fished up there in 20 years. And then now I'm on I've been on ICAT for going on 4 years now. And
Excellent.
if I thought the federal was slow, ICAT is like glacier slow. If you get 2 or 3 inches over the course of 5 years, you're doing good, man. You're doing good. So, yeah, it's just one of those things. But again, I like to do it because I've made money off of it, and I'm a firm believer in somebody's got to do it, and um, I pulled enough, you know, revenue out of it. I want to give time into it. So, if you know anybody like your neck of the woods, big shout out to Rick Weber. He's on all them boards. He's on all
Excellent.
them boards. And let me tell you, he should be a fucking lawyer. When he reads this stuff, he's an unbelievable spokesperson for us as recreational fishermen.
He's a tremendous tool, tremendous resource. He's not afraid to put the extra time in to do it, explain the concept on a third grade level, and then transition immediately to the
That's why I get
the
along with him. He speaks to me in third grade level, man.
it's been insightful. He and I have had some powerful conversations over the years at 8 o'clock at night, going to 10 o'clock at night, just
Oh
on
my,
the fishery topic, completing a full sweep, 360 degrees on the topic, maybe several times, but really good to see that we have advocacy on that level,
yeah,
right? And that
100%.
is so important.
And I'm so glad that you say he calls at 8 and you'll talk until 10 because he'll call me up. He goes, I have one question. I promise I won't keep you on the phone for 3 hours. And somehow we still talk for 3 hours, dude. And I absolutely love every minute of it. I love every minute of it, because they're good. It's like doing war games.
Mhm.
As a kid, it's like, okay, here's the board. Let's pretend this is what's happening. And you go through, and then he's like, okay, that's great. But what happens if this piece here
Yeah.
changes? I'm like, fuck, I never thought of that.
Yeah.
He has this like generals, like a military general's mind of the
Mhm.
overall playing field, uh, and then he's like, well, what happens if this happens? And it's like, well, what the fuck? When does that happen? Oh, it happens.
It's
Oh,
it's 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 interesting. It's interesting to watch it all play out in real time. And you mentioned glacial movement, right? And sometimes it almost pays for less. Less is more, right? And it can be very frustrating for those folks to sit on those committees and boards. And very minimal amount of actions taken, but important pieces are understood on a deeper level, more complex level.
yeah, at 100%. And I'll never forget my first year. I think if it wasn't my first, it was my second meeting. Rick told me, he goes, you're going to come to find out more stuff gets done in that hallway out there than ever in this room. And
Interesting.
oh my God, it's ridiculous. He was right. And it's one of those things. And listen, I'm guilty of it too, where it's like, oh, I need to talk. Somebody said something, and they could be an academic, they can be an environmentalist, they can be a commercial guy. Uh, and I see them get up to go to the bathroom or something, and I'm like, I'm gonna go position myself because what they said, I've seen, and I need them to know that I've seen what they're talking
Yeah.
about. So you go out there, it's like, hey, that thing you said, you're right. I've been seeing it. How about if we catch up on a phone call later and let me share with you the information I have? Because again, as fishermen, we work together.
Totally.
We constantly, and in whatever scale, micro or macro, if you're just working an edge of a canyon and somebody's on the other side and they're quiet and you call them, hey, what are you doing? Dude, we're mugging them up. Okay, well, fuck, I'm going to go over to that side. Well, it's the same thing with fisheries or technology or just business. Hey
Hmm.
man, I know you've been going to, and I'm just using a stupid example. I know you've been going to Isla Harris every year, but maybe you should plan a month in Cozumel because, the fish have moved back down here. And it's just one of those things, it's evolution, and we always work together. And it's one of the things that I absolutely love about our industry, because to me, it truly is, it's a fraternity. We do this together. We help each
Yeah.
other. We're moving forward. So I absolutely love it.
No, totally. It's funny you say fraternity because there is this element to it that is something that's not, it's just you can't describe it, right? And, when you're in and you see it, and you're just like, wow,
It, it's it's
this is a
100% like
lot.
a fraternity.
Yeah.
I didn't go to college like most, I went to community college. But it's not like, you went to some big school and you were part of a fraternity, and next thing you know, there's some 60-year-old guy there and you're 25, and it's like, hey, I'm your fraternity brother. I hear you want to be a blank. Let me introduce you to so and so. And I never quite understood that until I got into the fishing industry.
Hmm.
And you realize, you have a problem with somebody or something, and somebody will
Hmm.
come up to you and say, hey man, I see you're struggling with clearing customs or that engine
Yeah.
part or whatever it is. He goes, let me help you with that. With those things, you got to bleed this line first. And it's a fraternity. Let me help you out. I've been through that before. I've been through that before. You get up to a level and you reach behind you and you help those that are coming
Yeah.
up. It's very, very important, and that's what I love about it. And it doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter if you guys are
Totally.
from Jersey and you got some Florida boys and some Virginia boys, and next thing you know, you all work together, you
Yeah.
know.
Absolutely.
Everybody works together, and especially now since traveling is such a bigger thing than it used to be.
Right.
When I first started, uh, Carolina boys would hang out with Carolina boys, and
Hmm.
shit, Miami boys and Palm Beach boys didn't hang out, and Palm Beach boys and
Right.
Stewart guys didn't hang out. Now we all end up going to the same fucking places anyway. Hey, I remember when we were in the DR or St. Thomas or Costa Rica, so we all just blend in. But again, it's that fraternity. It don't matter where you go. We all kind of help each other out.
Yeah, no, it's impressive. It really is. It's a testament to humanity as a whole, but also like this clique and these folks are all doing what they do, and they help one another, reaching backwards and reaching forward, which is always it's always nice,
Yeah.
right? To see that from within the group, right? And so many different, I mean, for me on a personal level, so many different times where folks have pulled me up and it just saved me tremendously, right?
Yeah.
And it just, whether it's a quick text message, a contact, a turn the wrench this way, dummy, um, you know, yeah, you forgot that, get this, and it's okay, that makes sense, done. And it's really interesting. And to your point with the traveling, right? That's really exploded. Right. And now it's not one boat going across the Atlantic, it's multiples or who's on this boat. And I've never even done any of this. I just watch it. And it's cool. Sometimes I find myself a little too deep into marine traffic. Just seeing my friends. I was texting two of my buddies yesterday, and I was texting them and I was saying, "Oh, how you doing? Like, what's going on? I'm at the computer today, right?" So it was
I
it
know
was
where
it
you're
was
at. You
cool.
can't lie to me, man. I know where you're at.
Yeah, no, no, it's just what, it's fun to just say, hey, like, I'm just how's it going today, right? And some of the catches were good, some of them were so, but it's just cool to kind of see
It's
it.
it's neat. Who was I talking? Oh, I was talking to Brett Gaskell the other day, captain of the Builder's Choice, and we were comparing because he fishes the Abacos and he goes back home to Moorhead and then goes to Bermuda. And in every spring, right around probably about next month, April and May, one of the things I really enjoy doing, because he lives in Moorhead, he can do it by phone, but I love watching social media when you start getting a body of water that moves in off of the Abacos. Next thing you know, everybody's catching grand slams, bunch of blue marlin, bunch of Dorados, and then that body of fish will move up where people are running over to the corner and they're catching, the bites going there. And then next thing you know, a couple days later, you see it out of Canaveral. Then you see some of the boys that are running out of South Carolina. And then finally, you watch that whole body of fish from the Bahamas move up the coast that 20 years ago it was happening, but we couldn't watch it. We couldn't watch it, but now we can watch it. And whether you watch it by looking at your water temperature charts or calling your friends, I love watching it on social media because you see all the pictures.
Yeah,
You watch
it's
how
nice.
these fish migrate up the coast.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
It's really cool to have the technology, and now you have like the independent third party confirmation of those catches, right? And you get to watch that and kind of live through it. It's cool to see it, and then you can see some of these fishermen that really like experts in that particular field, right?
yeah,
As a whole in that fishery, and then in that particular area, really sack everybody up, right? And you just see like, wow, like that is really fishing right there. And it's not even so much just how many flags you put in a rigger, just to see like that's a competitor. Like
yeah.
they just see it on such a different level. And I've always wondered what they see different than the rest of the team, right? You're never going to get all of it, but you'll get some of it. But it's so
Yeah.
interesting to see what variable they key in on that day that moved the needle for them. And it's fascinating to me to watch that. It's pretty cool. It's really cool. I'm not very tuned into any of the bill fishing. I've just that's kind of something I've just started getting into. And buddies of mine would tell me like you're missing out. You got to get into this fishery. Get to the Bahamas. Do this. Do this. And I just never just the way it worked for me. It just wasn't a thing to do. It's happened recently, but to see it and watch it now, it's pretty cool. And like you said, with social media and some of these other tools out there now, you can kind of see this stuff faster and just live through it. It's pretty
Oh,
cool.
there.
And then,
Listen, there's stuff that's coming out that's so fast.
yeah,
I'm
so
working
it's
on a couple of things. We can talk about it offline.
yeah, yeah,
Uh, just yeah, because people want to see what's going on. They don't want to miss
yeah,
it. It-
absolutely.
the one of the early examples of people wanting to watch things as they happen is I think it was the Big Rock, the first one that did it, that connected their radio room to their website. And
Cool.
people will literally listen to the tournament radio
Mhm.
all week long just to hear people calling in hookups.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, people want that information and they want it now, you know? And some of it they just want to feel the action. Some of it, my husband's fishing, my son's fishing, my daughter's on this boat. There's so much stuff that people want to know, and the technology keeps getting better and better. And with Elon Musk and Starlink. Huh. Like you said, you were chatting with your buddies yesterday.
It's crazy. That whole space infrastructure is going to be very interesting. You listen to some of what, like a Jeff Bezos said, or even what Elon Musk is trying to do. And, whether you believe all of it or not, it's not up to for discussion, but just what they're doing is laying down this infrastructure. And then the folks that are going to build on top of it, that's going to be really interesting to watch. It's like watching railroads being built in the 1800s or electrification in the 1900s onwards. Just what's taken place there is going to be just incredible. And the amount of information flow that's going to get slingshotted back and forth is just, not just Earth now, right? Outer space at some
Oh,
point. Incredible.
it
Really cool.
it gives a whole new meaning of you have to think about it in 3D
Yeah.
because we've always, we're going to build horizontally and vertically. and you can stack it up a little bit. Now, no, no, let's move the satellites. Let's put the storage units out in space, data centers, and it's like, holy shit, this is really happening.
Hmm.
And the crazy part, I'm not sure how old you are. I'm old enough to remember when we had landlines and a rotary phone and sitting by a phone all day long waiting for a call. And I've gone from no internet to internet and now AI. And everything just keeps getting faster and faster and faster. So when somebody like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos talks about something, you used a really good word, whether you want to believe it or not. In my brain,
Hmm.
I believe it. I just can't wrap my head around the concept because I haven't thought like that. You think we all think in certain ways. Um, some people get blessed to think creatively to be able to paint something or sculpt something. Some people are creative in building that kind of stuff and they can see it or they see it and they're like, let me build backwards. How can I if I want to do that, how do I do it? And it's really amazing when you watch somebody like Elon Musk, uh, when all the stuff is out there and you see these little blips and it's like, listen, as much as I like the fact that he built Tesla, he's building Tesla for a reason. I don't know it yet, but now it seems like a no-brainer because there's no gasoline on Mars. How are you going to get a car to drive on Mars? What are you going to ship gasoline back and forth? No.
Yeah.
It's fucking electric. It's easy. It's
Yeah.
solar panels. It's a fucking no-brainer. Why did you create a boring company to make tunnels? Well, you made a boring company so that you can build infrastructure under the ground in case you're on a planet that's, not feasible to human living. So slowly but surely, even when he bought X, he kept saying it was about free speech, and I appreciated that he did it. But I'm like, there's got to be another reason. And then, whatever it was, a year or two later, you realized he used everybody talking on X to teach his AI. And it's like, oh, fucking ingenious. Everybody's talking right now, providing the data for the AI to learn. So no, it's to me, it's cool. Um, Now that we're talking about this tech, this is a perfect segue about what you reached out to me with what you're doing with uh, CR Maps. Am
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
right
So,
with Canyon Runner Maps? I said that
yeah.
correctly, right? Okay, I
Yep.
just want to
CR
make sure.
map by Canyon Runner. Yeah.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah. So this was like is kind of an interesting idea here. And the concept was we had something called GP Link, right, from Caterpillar on one of our boats, right?
Uh-huh.
And I think we're like GP Link 17 and 295 when we had both boats. And so we liked it for monitoring the engines. And Caterpillar had their warranty program. They have a very robust warranty program, probably one of the better ones in the industry. And they sold that to us, and it was great because we could hedge economically a little bit, run the charter boat a little bit better, freed up some cash flow. And it had like kind of like a low jack. And I mean, we're going back here now, 16 years, 2009, 2010-ish period.
Yeah.
Um, and so that was tremendous because you could get some insight, some analytics about the boat, right? If you had a breakdown, it was advertised. If you had a breakdown and you were in a random place like DR, they could potentially fly in parts with a mechanic, go in informed as opposed to 1 or 2 day of diagnostics, another couple days to get parts, etc. Um, and so we liked it because we kind of monitor the asset and then also just understand what's going on with our engines. Is there a problem here that we're not seeing? Things like that, right? And so just technology sort of embracing itself, like, like let's also address it this way, right? Like folks were going from, you mentioned rotary dial phones, right? Like I'm 36, so 20 years ago, probably had like a Razor or like a flip phone, right? And then you were embracing the iPhone or a BlackBerry, right? Generationally. And so the information flow is bigger and bigger. Now you have the internet in your hands or email, right? And so with all of that more information coming in, we have this membership, right? And it's all concentrated, was concentrated mid-Atlantic Northeast. And because of these long runs, the business case behind it was we'll help you sort of read through the tea leaves and just say, these are your five variables that'll move the needle, whether it's catching or this is where the bite is, how to catch the fish, or independent third party confirmation of this weather's okay. You're in a 25-foot boat, you can't be out in Southwest 15. It's going to be a bad ride home coming home from Triple Rex to New Jersey. It'll be fine for the first 20 miles, but 20 miles to 70 will be rough. That 50 miles, that's really tough. No, you're in a 60-foot boat. This is what it would be like. And there's, far more boats that are the smaller class than the larger class, right? So that we saw the product really take off. And since COVID, we've just continued to refine this product and embracing the technology. Starlink's been a big part of that, but we've also used some of the other tracking systems, Garmin InReach, the Iridium Goes, the Spot X, um, and we just embedded it into a map, right? It was a very basic map that we've added different features into it. And it was all done on the premise of safety, where we started to realize that maybe not everyone, some people don't want to ask a stupid question, right? Which is a terrible philosophy, by the way, but you have to, you read through the signal and the noise, right? Like you
Yeah.
should never think there's a stupid question.
There
It's
is no
okay to ask
stupid
for something.
question.
Right.
Ask.
Sure. And so we started to realize that folks needed help with weather or there was lightning. They'd get a call on their sat phone from a loved one at home. Honey, it's thunderstorming here. What's the weather like from you? Well, I'm 100 miles south of you. How do you communicate that to somebody that doesn't understand what 100 miles south will even mean, let alone on the ocean, right? Because the cell is north of them or west of them, right? Or east. So we started building in a lightning alert, right? We started embracing some of those new weather models into the platform. And I'll pull it up for you here in a second. If we can share screens, I'll show you. But we started to embrace all of those different third-party confirmations. And then we've also started to support the member 360 degrees through the boating experience. So whether that's providing a preferred vendor or using somebody needs a question on insurance, right? We bring that to the table. You need a financing, you need a boat broker, right? You want to talk directly to somebody. Maybe you have an electronics vendor you're doing business with, but we have an electronics consultant on the platform, right? And you can check in with him and say, hey, his name's Seth, right? You can check in with him and say, hey, this is what I want to put on my boat. What do you think? I'm building a brand new, just say Freeman. Can you put it together for me? Oh, add this, take this out, do this. There's an upgraded electronic coming. Try and put this on the boat. Right. And it's nice to have that third party confirmation because it's a trusted third party, but you're also able to say, okay, this is great. I'm going to go ahead with my other vendor for this. Right. I think a lot of people also want to make sure that they're getting good advice, and it's hard to find good advice. And we're in a world now where we're fast. We live in an Amazon world. Everything is now, now, now. I want two of this, one in red, two in green. And just eliminating the waiting is so helpful for folks. Folks will pay for convenience. We've had different captains, some of them I deeply respect, say, we like the product. We're not going to talk to you, but we like the product because I don't have to ask. And that really changed my viewpoint on things, right? There's people out there that just independently want to confirm things. And you can use technology to do that and also make an impact, a positive impact. Help a boat owner, help a captain, help a crew member out, help a fellow fisherman. A lot of our membership are do-it-yourself owner ops, and those folks need a lot of help and assistance just learning it. And as they understand the program and they move on, they don't necessarily have the same questions, but they appreciate it. We've even had accomplished tournament winning programs that have sold their boat for whatever reason, and they're still a part of the program because they like watching from afar, right? And they say to us that this is something for them that made that sunset a little easier. So it's pretty cool to see that take place. And when you go down the business world, it's just you don't necessarily understand everything, and it evolves and changes.
You just said the biggest caveat you just said, it's the business world. One of the things, unlike a boat where you want to know everything that's going on, somebody taught me once, if you want to see your business successfully grow, there's a certain point that you can't know everything that's going on. You have to find somebody that you trust
Hmm.
and that they're going to do the right job
Yeah.
and put your trust in them.
Perfect.
And uh, people have a tendency to micromanage, and that's tough,
Yeah.
because if you really want to grow, you got to just say, okay, this is what I want to accomplish. Make it happen.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
Totally.
So
Totally. It's
if,
it's
if
it's super interesting.
so if you want to share your screen, I think you can do
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
and then you can walk us through.
I just need to send a request. I sent the
Yeah, no, not a
request.
problem.
Yes.
I'll allow the request.
Perfect.
Perfect. So that way we can talk about it, and let's make sure we do a good description for people that are just listening to it on audio only.
Yeah. So just want to confirm with you, you can see the screen,
I can see
correct?
the screen right now. It
Okay,
looks like I'm
cool.
looking at the Mid-Atlantic all the way up to Martha's Vineyard. Oh, listen, I can see Cape Verde now.
Yeah, we're not there yet, but that would be cool.
Okay.
So what we've done here is this is a Navionics chart, right? We've overlaid that on the map. These are our members. We're heavily concentrated in the Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic. We're down here in the Bahamas, Florida, both coasts. We've got some exposure in Guatemala, Costa Rica, and down in the Caribbean. I'm just going to quiet this down a little bit so it's a little clearer, and we can kind of see a few boats actually out here right now, fishing. We got a couple boats down here in Abacos. I guess it's crummy weather there, and you can kind of see, you click on them, and you can see, what the boat is. This is our pro staff Captain Kobe on the new twist. You get their lat long, their speed, their course. We actually have a wave height reader in
Okay.
there, so every boat's an independent observation, and so that's feet and seconds. And they're at the dock right now, so the boat just might be slanting a little bit. We got a boat in Baker's. We got another one of our pro staff, Captain Gabe on the sea tows, right? You can kind of see where he's at right now. We got his depth, we got his speed, and the wave height. They're not moving right now. And so we have these boats all throughout the South Florida. We've got some boats in Costa Rica as well. And we embedded in here, we got two of our pro staff here in North Carolina, the Rochambeau and Fishing Frenzy Greg. You can see their temperature. And what's pretty cool about this is these red dots. That shows you that the boat made a excessive speed and change, right? So it went from,
Can I
let's just
can
say
I
six.
can I just pause you for one little
Sure.
second? I want you to keep going, but you
Mhm.
mentioned a name there, and just so people can connect the dots,
Mhm.
you mentioned Captain Greg on the Fishing Frenzy. For
Yep.
anybody that's listening that watches Wicked Tuna, that's the same Greg that's on Wicked Tuna. He's out fishing right now out of Oregon Inlet.
Yeah. Great point.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, this is
I want people to be able to relate because
totally.
listen, he's got a lot of followers. He's got a lot of fans that like to listen. They want to see what's going on.
And Greg's been a tremendous partner with us. He's been with us over 4 years, and he's just been a tremendous asset for us to work with. And he's really actually our first boat that we put on this. This is Captain Will in the Rochambeau, and you can see his sea temperature, his depth, and obviously it's overboard, so the depth comes in erroneous, and you can kind of see it's rough out there today, right? It's just about a square C, right? 4.5 foot at 4.7 seconds. Um,
Now,
we're looking at
how are you getting that information? Is that information because the computer that you have on there is picking up that information?
Yeah, so our device is a NEMA 2000 harvesting device.
Okay.
And so anything on the NEMA 2000 system links to the cloud or Starlink and then goes to the cloud and then we put it on our app. And what I put over here too, so for demonstration is just that everyone could see you can see a sea surface temperature overlay, put the Loran lines on there. And this is all of our accurate, we call it real water temperature. So if you couldn't see these boats on the map, right, if you couldn't get a clear sea surface temperature, you have an idea of what's actually being out there live right now, right? So you get clouds for 4 days. You have some idea of what's taking place there within, that's real information, accurate data, which is It's great, and it's really good for up in the mid-Atlantic Northeast where you have a lot of cloud cover and you don't have fast changing water conditions. You also have a chlorophyll overlay you can put in here too. Change that, shut that down. If you wanted to do like an enhanced water analysis and vice versa. And then you also have your cursor that shows you the temperature, the exact chlorophyll readout, and then you got your lat long. So you can really kind of pilot out a trip or look at, here's a pocket of water off Oregon Inlet. It's bluer. This is surrounding green, dirtier water. Obviously, you can see the Gulf Stream here.
And just so that not only I'm aware, but people that are listening, you have this overlaid on an avionics chart.
We have it overlaid on a Navionics chart, a satellite map, and a NOAA chart,
Okay.
as well as our own in-house charts as well.
So you can change it from chart to chart
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
want. Okay. Not a problem. This one
yeah.
we're looking at right now, I'm trying to read it.
This is sea
W
surface temperature, just
okay.
overlaid on the Navionics
On the
chart. Yeah.
Navionics chart. Okay.
Hmm.
Just so I can draw a picture for
Of
everybody that
course.
might be just listening, so they understand it. And you can see where they're actually fishing right in the canyons.
It's pretty interesting. And this doesn't just get limited to the canyons too. This also is it's great for the midshore fishing, right? And also making sure you have user accuracy, right? So there might be some folks that believe they're in the Bacardi area. That's a large area. They could be 5 miles off the mark, right? The fleet might have amassed south of something. So that's where we started to see the demand here, where we had folks that we're not actually in the right spot. So we're able to move them when we work with them one on one. Because so much of our membership isn't just actually what's taking place, it's that we work with those folks as they're fishing, right?
Okay.
Whether
Okay.
that's just checking out, hey, go to lighter leader, try a different bait, remove your boat, you move your boat to a different location, providing something that's actionable. Um, and again, it's up and down. And it's amazing how all of these different tools are supported in the system with chlorophyll, sea surface temperature, and how it relates to all sorts of different fishing, whether you're down in Florida, the Keys looking for sailfish, tunas and marlins on North Carolina, tunas up north, vice versa. It's they're tremendously useful tools as well as um, the other coast. We didn't even talk about the Pacific much, but starting to watch some boats fish out of that area and just relate it to how they're fishing there, it's pretty interesting and insightful.
I'm looking down your little chart here. I see some
Mhm.
animation. I see lightning, geofencing. Can you show us some of those things?
Yeah, so what I did here is,
Oh, sweet.
so I just pulled up a couple of like pre-made slides here just for demonstrations, PR purposes. This is the weather radar, right? And
Okay.
it's overlaid on our Navionics chart. This is a system here off the Great Lakes, right? Of rain, wind, right? And I'll put the animations on here, just stand by. And I'll throw the ISO lines on. Right, so you can see the barometric pressure a little bit different here.
So you can watch weather systems move in and move out.
Yeah, you can monitor it. It was all the things we did, right? With the serious weather for years, all those days on Canyon Runner, we always had a wind overlay on, right? We were always looking at our high and low pressure. So you can really see what's taking place here. Let me put it on the satellite map and it'll show you the low, right? Shows you the edge of the high here, and then you
Okay.
can see the animations all in between, right? And that just gives you an idea of again, why there's an unstable weather pattern or a stable weather pattern. And as you watch this, you start to get more and more comfortable with this. And, professional captains, they live and breathe by the weather, right? There's a lot of folks that have never been exposed to that before. And so this is one of the tools they can use to just start to build that muscle memory. And
Do
the
you know what
education piece of
do
this
you
is so
do you know
important.
what this reminds me of?
No.
Remember the original Matrix when Neo was talking with Cypher, and there's all these numbers raining down, and he goes,
Yes.
you know what that means?"
Ones and
And
zeros.
he goes, "All I see is a blonde, a brunette." And I'm looking at this chart, and I'm like, "Oh no, I understand everything you're saying here because I've been looking at these weather charts for 30 years." And And I love the fact that it's animated now compared to the old-fashioned weather
It's
faxes.
nice.
Oh my God, it's
It's
so cool. So yeah, you can see where there's a front that's kind of stalled out a little bit over North Florida, going all the way off of New Jersey. You got that low pressure system offshore of the Bahamas. So no, it's this is cool as shit, man.
it's definitely interesting. We put a lightning alert in there, right? And there might not be much lightning around right now to really show everybody. But you know what it basically shows up is like a heat map of orange, and I'm not sure. Maybe we can find a piece of lightning. Oh, here we go. So here we go. Some lightning bolts here
Okay.
around the eastern side of this low, right? And it's interesting because the folks down here in Florida, they have so much more lightning because of all that hot water. You know,
Oof.
it's a buddy of mine was telling me that a boat in Ocean Reef was just struck a couple days ago, and you know, sure enough, I went on the map and I saw there there was lightning in that area,
We
and
had a
it
lot
just
of
goes
light.
to show you it changes. It really changes. We also have AIS here too, so we'll click it and
You can you can watch all the ships cruise all around.
yeah, so basically any of our boats that are live are picking up additional AIS. So you can see boats here, you know, in the Abacos and off Bakers. Um, and so you do that, get that, and that's really great. It's helpful for the dragger bite, right? Up off Long Island and Eastern New Jersey, right? You can see what other boats are around you there. And it also helps you out too if you need to make a hail. Like if you need to hail another boat, you have that ability. You can't see them. You can pick them up on AIS, right? So it's just there's all these different safety elements that are built into this. That just give a user a different perspective. And we went in here and partnered up with a some of a fishing chart. Take the fishing notes off, go with the Rex and the midshore. These are all sort of like major, it's not everyone, but it's a vast majority of the major sort of like structure, right? And we also put a bar in here, like a search bar. So just say you're coming up from Florida, you want to check out this Reeser wreck because you're not sure where it is. Boom, go to it. Yeah, you want to check out beach, pulls you right there, right? You don't even
Wow.
have to search the chart. It's faster, right? You got wrecks in here, you got observations in here too. And it's kind of like, you know, the idea behind it was like built for fishermen, right? By fishermen, but
Oh, there's the
you
Hudson
know,
Canyon right there.
yeah. And you know, it could be for everyone, right? You get access to all this knowledge, right? Anyone that wants to participate, you know, you're definitely able to do so. And you can also see what those observations are, right? And we pull you right into we'll go here to southeast, right? We'll go into like let's just hit buoy details and it'll pull us into the NOAA page, right? And it'll give us sort of the live data from that NOAA buoy, which is you know it's just
Interesting.
tremendous. It's all there and it's you know it's available and you know again it's sort of like a idea behind it is this could be your all-in-one fishing app. And there's some interesting things that could be done with it. Where it goes, who knows? But you know, you're starting to see more and more folks embrace this. And there's an entire mobile component as well to it. You can do the you don't just have to have our device on the boat. You could do the tracking through your own through the app, right? Which is say you're not on your boat, but you are fishing with a buddy. You want someone to double check you, right? Or maybe you're out alone on the ocean, you don't know anyone, you know, and then
Yeah.
you know we can
Keep an
see
eye
it.
on
So
me.
yeah, and there's value there, right? I mean, and
No, there's a
you know
lot of value.
we've had some situations where you know I've been caught in a situation where you know it was nice to be able to have folks watch me. Why? Because I was the only boat out there. I was traveling at night, and you know I wanted boats, you know, people to see me, right? If I was slowed down, or we've had some issues with you know, members over the years, they're out there on their boats and they didn't check in with us, which is, you know, it's totally fine, but they hit something or they had a tech issue, right? We were able to get on the phone with them at 9 o'clock at night and just talk through it with them. You know, and that's always helpful to get some perspective. You know, and they came to us and said, and that was really helpful. And that's not for everybody, but you know, I think like more often than not, you're starting to see more and more folks kind of want to look at what's going on with their boats and understand a little bit more about it. And
100%.
there's demand for it. So it's been cool. It's been fun.
No, I listen, my brain is racing with ideas. So
Yeah.
I no, I absolutely I think it's cool as shit. It's cool as shit. Now, Explain to us. I'm
Mhm.
watching boats that are going all the way up the CD canal up
Mhm.
there, Chesapeake. What are all those? You have guys that are signed up for your program and they're just up there for the winter time right now, or what is
Yeah,
that?
well, there's a lot of folks that identify out of like Ocean City, Maryland, or Barnegat, right? Or Cape May,
Okay.
right? Point Pleasant Beach, Manasquan. Those are summer towns, right? So those folks live to the west, right? Maybe they're resident of Pennsylvania or they live closer to, Western Jersey or Northern Jersey, right? So they come down and, they just happen to have their app on. They were looking at it at night and they could see, um, they just turn their app on. So you see these boats, these folks up here.
So you have to have your app on, or the boat itself on, the NEMA on there
Yeah,
for you to be
so
able to see the boat.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So and that really comes down to we're seeing everything on the NEMA 2000 system, but the Starlink needs to be activated,
Okay.
right? It's got to get that transmission. So
Very,
it's
very cool.
yeah, no, it's definitely interesting. Like there's a lot of different user settings you can do here with these apps that or these maps, different weather systems and weather analysis and more features to come. We're always constantly building it out. We're fortunate. We've got four full-time software engineers and a formal CTO in place, and they just grind. We can't do it without them. They really just do a spectacular job, all of them. So we're very excited
So
to have them.
can you, at what point did you realize we want to create something to help people out?
You know what? That's a phenomenal question. And we've been doing this,
Are you going
even
to show
before I was
anything else on the screen?
no,
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 no.
okay. Yeah, let's
Yeah,
because for the people that are watching,
yeah,
let's pull and we can always pull it back up.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
Just stop the share.
stop there you
Yeah.
go.
So,
So go ahead.
yeah, so your question, like, when did we want to start helping people, right? And
Yeah,
even before I was a part of
at what point were you sitting there at a bar and said, and I say bar, it could be at somebody's house, whatever. I
does
mean,
happen.
most ideas come from, what would be really cool if we can help people do blank. And I wonder when that aha moment was for you guys.
So, I got to really defer back to my partner and one of the founders because before I was even a part of this, um, he was definitely a proponent of getting the information out there. And they've been building before I was even part of, like I said, before I was even part of this, for 18 years they've been doing this service, right? A subscription-based service. And that started from the seminars, the articles that were written, some of them penned by our captains, um, teammates, mates, right? We've got a very diverse group of folks that have worked on the boat, right? Some in the education space, some in the more disciplined sales space, right? They run major sort of companies, private and public companies, and they were great at just sort of disseminating that information. And so someone came up to us and said, "Hey, like a seminar's great. How about 4 month year support or trip support?" And then that worked into, okay, let's build a product for that. And so we started offering that. And then when the VM platform offered their services to handle our tech stack, and got to give a lot of credit to those folks. They've really helped us with that. And our current CTO, Tomer, he's done a spectacular job of just going in there and saying, "Hey, we could do something better. Here's what I think we can do." And we just started building layer upon layer, feature upon feature, and really getting in the nitty gritty of it. And it started from GP Link and it evolved into support and then evolved into the product you're seeing now, where you've got safety, you've got phishing intel, you've got community within a community.
Listen, I like the product. It's pretty cool. Like I said, my brain's like, oh, because I got some products that are coming out, and we can talk about it offline, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
there'll be some pretty cool possible integrations.
totally.
Um, different information, but still trying to encompass the same but different idea.
Yeah, sure.
Um, but no, I absolutely love it. Now, if people want to check it out, Where do they go check it out? I know you had the website up there. If they want to read some more about it, and where can they go? Because right about now, people are like, I want to see it on my screen. I want to put it on my phone. So instead of
Yeah,
waiting until the very end where I'm like, give your information, I'm like, let's do it right now because this might get clipped out and float around social media for a week. And my clips, these, I think the clips go farther than the damn full-fledged podcast. Not I
short
think
form media.
the
Yeah,
short form videos, it's ridiculous.
they're
Something gets
good.
clipped out, and I'm watching one that's been going around for about 6 weeks now,
That's
and
awesome.
it keeps popping up, and it's like, okay, cool. I'm glad people like this topic. So, being that we're talking about this, and we'll come to the topic again, but if somebody wants to read out about it, where should they look?
Info at canyonrunner.com, and I'll give
Info
you some for the
canyonrunner.com.
info at canyonrunner.com.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's your email. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's our email, and canyonrunner.com is the website.
Okay.
You can get all that upper left-hand corner, right there with the membership, coaching membership details, etc.
And right now, being that you brought up membership, right now, what is I'm assuming you have tiered level membership.
Yeah, we have different tiers, and pricing options start at 9.99, and they go northward from there. There's a bespoke element to the product, depending on
Hmm.
where you're fishing, and that as well. And services asked for, right? It's not just one comprehensive product. There's several there that we
Okay.
can offer.
Perfect.
Yeah.
They can go on there and check it out. What as you guys are developing, and again, don't share proprietary shit that you need to
Mhm.
sound protected because I know what that's like. But what do you guys, as of right now, envision uh, as any business goes? Somebody always has a vision, what they're trying to overall achieve. And I'm assuming this is a base layer or a secondary tier level, and you're probably thinking of doing something bigger. What is the path that you guys are trying to head towards?
But we just continue to work towards the simple mission of just getting information out there
Okay.
and helping the community. And look, we've batted around ideas at a table, right, or at a bar. Um, but
It's I
you know,
told you it's always a
we
fucking bar, dude.
um, but we look at the opportunity to sort of establish the community within the community, and quite frankly, there's demand for it. So we just keep working towards that and making the community safer as a whole, right? And there's just a lot of folks that just want to learn more about it.
All right. Um, how many people, again, if you can share it, if not, I totally, uh, how many people do you have on the platform now? Uh,
Currently, we have several hundred members, right,
okay.
in there, and we also have the ability for you to have the captain, and you also have a mate. So our user base is more substantial than just the current members that we have in there.
Okay. Cool. Cool. I
Yeah.
just no, that's cool as shit. Who knows? I might just become a member so I can watch it, what everybody else is doing. So when one of my buddies calls me up, oh, I was at the Baltimore. You lying motherfucker. I saw you at the Wilmington. I know you were at the Wilmington. Listen, you do not lie to me, dude. I will come at you and haunt you in your fucking dream. Man, there's nothing I hate more than somebody lying to me. I'd rather you just say, listen,
It's tough.
I can't tell you. That I can respect. I can 100 respect somebody that says, hey man, I'll tell you tomorrow afternoon, but I can't tell you because I still got one more day of fishing. You know what? I can
Yeah.
respect that better than you lie to me. And that motherfucker, if he's listening, I'm talking to you. He knows that there's somebody that lied to me one time, and it was ooh, yeah. It's still talked about in some of the inner circles. By the time I walked back to my boat, my captain said, "What the fuck did you do?" I go, "That motherfucker lied to me. He lied to you too.
Oh boy.
I don't put up with lies. Listen, I can't tell you. I just can't. Okay, fair, man. I'm good
Yeah.
with that. Don't ask me a question, or just flat out, I can't tell you. Okay, fair. I
Every man is a code, right? I
Yeah,
get all that.
that's my code. That's all my code is. Especially if you call me for information, you know,
It
that's
gets
my thing.
tough.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if
that gets tough.
but again, if you call me for information and for whatever reason you feel
Hmm.
uh that you can't tell me, just tell me, man, I just
Yeah,
can't tell you. Or listen, man, I'll tell you, but don't tell anybody else. That's easy for me. I haven't talked to him. Yeah, I don't know where he's at. I just don't
yeah,
like sending people out on wild goose chases.
yeah. No, that's definitely tough. And okay, I think that you can, if you understand where a person's coming from, it's certainly helpful, right?
Yeah, that's
It really does help.
but now with this, oh, I can pull out a needle in a haystack. I will so call a motherfucker out. I have no problem with that. Bam. You lied. Well, there's a new thing going around. I'm not on it, which is surprising because it seems like I'm on every fucking social media platform. There's, I think it's called Life 360, where
Yep.
like
Okay.
your whole family is on there, so everybody in the
Hmm.
family knows where they're at. And okay, cool. I know I got some friends that, they get on it in little groups where that way I don't have to call and find out, hey, where you're catching. If I hear you stacking them up, I can just pull up the app and say,
Yeah.
oh, you're at the 64 line. Okay, cool. I don't need to call you up and ask you anything. But um, I, this is cool. I like it. I like I, I'm not one to hide information. I always tell everybody, I like to tell people where I'm at because I want an audience when I kick your fucking ass. I like an audience. Come over here, take some pictures. I've I've said that more than once. Usually it ends up turning around biting me in the tuchus. Uh, don't be too arrogant because it hurts on the way down.
Yeah, you know what? Like, I think we've all kind of been there before, and you can always play out a circumstance different, but you try and
Yeah,
be respectful to your community and your folks. Like hopefully more often than not, you end up on top, right? And that's all you can kind of do. And it gets interesting, right? You mentioned the fraternal situation, right? And you never know if you're going to be in somebody's cockpit. You might be keep competing against them tomorrow or today, but tomorrow you could be in their cockpit or a week later. So it's like you don't want to burn a bridge,
I
right?
don't
Which is
ever want to
important.
burn a
Yeah.
bridge. I and it's so funny because there's been a couple times shit has happened to me, and again, I've been in this business long enough that 5 years pass, 10 years pass, sometimes 20 years pass. I'll forgive. I don't fucking forget. I remember what you did, or you don't know that I know what you did, but
Sure.
I know what you did. you know, which is whatever. I don't think that has anything to do with fishing. I think that's just life in general.
Yeah,
I,
stuff happens.
whatever. I don't know what position you were in that time of your life. I'm not one to judge. It's how's the saying go? Screw me once, shame on you. Screw me twice, shame on me. Okay, I'll give you another chance. And then if something happens, then okay, I learned my lesson.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, fishing spots are weird. Fishing spots are weird, but especially in the offshore game, not the bottom fishing game. And actually, that brings me to a question. Let's say you are bottom fishing and you don't want people to know where you're stopping. Can you shut this thing down so nobody will watch you?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, this is really it's for surfers trolling longer distances, right?
Yeah,
There's some things you can do with the technology to kind of blur things out, but again, you want to keep things accurate, single source of truth, right?
yeah,
But there's definitely ways that folks can turn off their devices, and one of the ways we brought in some of our pro staff, right? There's several big names on there, is that they wanted some of the captains didn't care. Some of the captains wanted the ability in a tournament or bottom fishing to shut their equipment off. So we put in ways to do that. And again, it's just about keeping the expectations there. And it's not to lie, but everybody reserves the right. If you're a charter boat, you got chartered for a day. You've committed and contractually to giving that party the best trip you can give them. And if you think bottom fishing is a way to do that, you got to embrace that, right? You lean into that. And so it's just about setting those expectations and our members understand that, right? You might see a boat that just disappears for an hour or two, and that was the captain's election. And we're fortunate we have some great guys and some great pro staff that understand that, do that, and then willing to get right back on the platform
Yeah,
to
no, no, and that's
to get right there.
I
Yeah.
guess that's why I asked the question
Yeah.
for
It's a
those
great
people
question.
that like, man, it sounds so cool. I'd love to do it, but a third of my business is fishing bottom in the Gulf of Mexico, and the last thing I want is to share my bottom
Totally.
spots. So I'm like,
Totally.
yeah, I mean, I'm asking the questions for those guys that have
Totally.
that particular question. Because there's plenty of
Totally.
other information that's on there that's very, very valuable.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it presents value at different times too,
Yeah.
right? The other thing is like you don't necessarily know what that person's catching, right? Like you need the other part of the information to say they went out and caught 20 bottomfish there. You can have a boat over a piece of structure. You don't necessarily know what that is. And by and large, folks on maybe on the inside crowd that understand that fishery can put it together. Not everyone will,
Listen,
right? And I think that's important too.
if I see the boat catching dude that I always look for to see what's biting, stop on a spot for 2 hours, I don't care what he
Mhm.
caught on it. I want to check it out.
Yeah, no, that's definitely something that's,
I want to check
possible.
it out. That's the guy that always catches the gag groupers and the red
Hmm.
snappers and uh ooh, he sat there for 2 hours. Why did he do that? You know? So again, I'm just asking the question because
Totally.
I'm sure somebody's listening to this
Sure.
and is going to ask the question. So I'm playing devil's advocate here and asking
Of course.
because
Of course.
I want to make sure I cover everything that people may come up with. And like I'm sitting here trying to think, what else would somebody me, I'm more of I want to be hands-on. I'm like, oh, can it do this? Can it do that? But some people
Hmm.
already have a list of all the different things that they could possibly do.
Yeah, it's an interesting opportunity there. And this also goes hand in hand with the way that we disseminate our information. We disseminate it on a macro level, a very high level. And then when those folks are going fishing, we give them those sort of like micro tidbits, right? And it's one of the ways that we keep the information within the group, right? So it's not just all over everywhere quickly, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a time value to fishing information, right? That could be 6 hours, 12 hours, 36, 72, a week,
Yeah.
right? Depending on what fishery you're in, right? And fish on at the tip of the Hudson one day, knowing where five were caught in the morning is much more valuable than where five were caught 5 days ago, right?
One.
Or maybe in the Bahamas, knowing that the blue marlin migration's closer to the Abacos right now, maybe that's not as valuable, right? Or you fish a place like the Pocket, there's not a lot of fish there. Maybe you do want to access that information in the Abacos, right? So it's like that fine line of just understanding what's available.
Yeah, no, no, 100% true. It's valuable information.
And a
You
lot
know,
of
we're
it's just third-party reconfirmation too.
yeah.
And again, it's so much bigger than just the nuance of what mahi was caught under a pallet, right? It's so much bigger than, and it's that 360 support that we found our members really, really enjoy, right? And they
When you
like
say
that.
360 support, can you describe to the people
Yeah, so
what exactly you're providing there?
Yeah, so you've got weather, you've got fishing intel, and then you have all the ancillary support, whether that's tackle, whether that's a cleaning product, whether it's a procedure on a boat, right? Electronic support, what's the best washdown pump that I should buy? I'm in this situation, how do I run this electronic? Um, I'm looking to buy a new boat. Can I talk to some brokers, right? I want to look at some wholesalers. I want to look at boat finance and boat insurance. All those little things that give you that next level experience and say this is worth continuing to join because I have all this information access. It's a concierge service, right? You see this in medical world, you see this in like the homeowners world, right? It's having all of that personal assistant. You have that ability in fishing with this product. It's packaged up. There's a piece of technology, but there's also this phone support system, right? We brought on a mechanic, right? Who's there for you 24 hours a day. You can pick up your phone, talk to them about your outboard, your inboard. If you're jammed up, emergency situation, you can contact them. We've been looking for that person for 3 years and we just signed them on. We're very excited about that. They liked it because they could get additional exposure and they were looking at it ways to grow their business, right? And so that's really important, right? There's folks there that see that there's a larger opportunity for them, not just specific within the service, but maybe something for them down the road. Again, working with folks and seeing, we can test things in a lab, but actually in the real world where real problems are, boats are unique, right? Most people use their boat Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Well, most people in a 9 to 5 world work Monday through Friday. So you have that weird overlap. So you gotta, kind of build things so that you can get access to those people and access to expertise when folks are using their boat.
Yeah. Monday morning when you went out Saturday doesn't do you any good.
Right. Exactly. Maybe you have your trip there. Maybe you had to cancel a trip, or maybe you're just trying to make an experience with your son, right? We all started somewhere fishing with dad or fishing with
Yeah.
your uncle or, whatever that was, your cousin, right? We've all been there before, and there's nothing worse than you look at somebody who was looking forward to that experience and it's over, right? Before it started. So
Ugh.
it's a tough one, but you can work through it.
We've
And these
all
are just
been there.
opportunities to do that. Yeah,
We've all been there. It's a shitty experience. It's
it's tough.
or
It's
worse
part of it.
yet, you're waiting 3 weeks to go fishing, and when you wake up, it's blowing 25 knots.
Yeah, that's
Ugh.
tough. That's tough.
Can't we just
Really, really.
stick our nose out and peek? I ain't
Yeah.
sticking shit nowhere, dude.
We've all been there, maybe reached a little too hard, and it
Ah.
unfortunately doesn't always work out well.
100%, man. 100%. It
Yeah.
sucks to be on that end, but listen, we've all been there. We've all been there. Um, so we have weather. Wow, you have an unbelievable support system. I didn't even realize that you had mechanics and cleaning supplies and all that other kind of stuff. That's
It's
I
good. We always ask what folks are interested in too.
so if I went on your site now, I can go and see that you offer all those products.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I like it. It's people are enjoying more of this one-stop shop kind of a deal. They don't want to chase things around, which listen, I get it. I've been chasing things around all my life. Uh, and then the internet made it simpler, and now it just keeps getting easier and easier and easier.
The information flow's gotten to be exponentially faster and the
Seamless.
way it works is you reach out to us and one of us will get on a call with you. It's somewhere between 20 to 45 minutes to explain everything and all the nuances to it. And folks really enjoy the product. So it speaks for itself and it's been fun. It's been a fun mission to kind of see it grow and mature, blossom.
What's your personal vision on this? Personal, not company.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What's your
No,
personal vision?
I think it's fascinating to engineer and look at things. Like I always remember, I relate it to when I first got into fishing. I liked being the mate and chunking at night because I could go fishing. Like you get to hold a rod, right? You see that in like the sailfish world or the billfish world, right? And you get to do your own rigging, right? And when you're doing products, it's kind of similar to that, right? You're crimping, you're tying knots, you're trying things, you're looking at things. Maybe this works, maybe this doesn't. I think all fishermen are, scientists at some point, right? They're looking at different things and different details, and so just understanding how it works. And I think that there's a demand for something like this, and it's just interesting to see where folks what they take out of the service, right? Let's just say there's 30 different services you offer, five of them move the needle. And then maybe the next year, four of those original five, and then something else really moves the needle, right?
Yeah.
And showing folks a different perspective. If you're a novice, right? We all started somewhere. You think about fishing from one perspective, and then you realize, whoa, here's a top elite captain, and they're saying do X, Y, and Z. And you go out and you see them perform, right? And not just the performance of how many fish they caught. They brought a party back safe, or they're consistently respected amongst their peers. That's fascinating to see how they go out and solve that puzzle, right? And sometimes they approach it from two different points, right? Some folks are really, really like detail specific. Some folks are more a little bit like, as it's been explained to me before, like an artist, right? They just kind of paint their way through it, and vice versa. And it's definitely interesting to see that. And personally, I think going back to it, it's just be keep allowing this thing to grow and see where it takes us.
Yeah, that's cool. I
Yeah.
love it. I always I know I have visions when things happen, when I'm doing something. My biggest question I always ask somebody is, with what we're doing, uh, do we have an opportunity to watch this thing scale? If this is just going to be like a one-off, which is cool, sometimes things
Mhm.
are just one-off, but I like to see things that can possibly grow.
Yeah,
You
totally.
know, so that's why I asked you, what's your vision on this? Um,
One point to that, right? So I think to make anyone's, like, whether you're a captain, fisherman, mate, make their life easier, right? I see this in the insurance space a lot. It's like you're perpetually waiting for someone to get back to you. Folks want things in a pretty fast manner, right? And you talk to various watermen about their pain points, or you talk to a do-it-yourself about their pain points, right? They want to make an experience, they want to do something for their boss, whatever the combination is, right? Maybe it's on personal achievement. How can there be folks that help make that better and faster?
yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. I know for me, and this is just me, I'm
Mhm.
always looking for something that can connect me with more people.
Yeah,
That's the nature of my business is connecting.
sure.
Even doing the events, I love it because I have 30 cruise captains, boat owners. Listen, I have access to them directly, and I literally try to go around and talk to everybody. I get to meet new people. I've had a couple of captains that have come to me. We love fishing your tournaments because you don't have 100 boats, so you get to talk to everybody. And that's one of the things I love. I always Dinners start at 6 and they go till 8, and I always come in at 7. I can talk to you while some people are finishing, and then I can start when the next group is coming in. So that's to me, that's my most important thing. And with your product, the first thing I would think of, man, I get the opportunity to talk to all these fishermen as they need help. So I was just curious what your vision, your goals were, because again, like you said about fishing, you look at it from a different perspective. We all do it for a different reason.
Yeah.
So I was just curious at what your why was,
Yeah.
to help new people and continue that push. So no, I think it's way cool. I'm
Totally.
gonna check out the product, and I hope anybody that's listening checks it out. And if they have any questions, either contact me and I'll put you in touch with Dean. And am I gonna see you in Chubb again this year, or are you done?
I don't think I'll be making it to the other tournament. I was talking about doing it with a buddy in April, but the dates just aren't going to line up. So hopefully next year, or
Okay.
maybe at some of your other tournaments that you do. I didn't realize you were hosting other tournaments or even in talks about doing that, which is awesome. That's
Yeah,
fantastic, man.
for again, I do them um, for connections. I do it to meet
Yeah,
people. Really, what I'm doing is hosting a party. Even the World Cup, I get to talk to every blue marlin fisherman in the world for 2.5 months. Because this is the time of year they start signing up, and
yeah,
by the time May comes along, I get 2 or 3 calls every day. So,
that's
and
awesome.
we talk about. I mentioned earlier about watching the fish show up in the abacos and then go into the corner in Canaveral and moving up. The World Cup does the same thing where uh, early on I get a lot of people, a lot of fishermen from Eastern Europe, Russia, Ukraine,
Huh.
Croatia, because they have to line up their boats in Cape Verde. They want to make sure everything's paid, and then it moves uh, to Western Europe, where those guys start booking their boats and signing up to go to Madeira, Cape Verde, and then little by little, then it moves to uh, it usually starts pushing to California first, California and Texas, where I'm getting people that are booking boats in Hawaii. And then
Wow.
next thing you
Huh.
know, you have that East Coast push of people that are going to fish on the East Coast, are going to fish the Bahamas. And then the very last two pushes is those last minute guys that book boats in Hawaii, and then all the guys that are taking their boats from the East Coast to Bermuda. They all wait until they get to,
Interesting.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
that's the last push. So you literally watch it creep around the world, and I get to talk to all of them.
Wow.
That to me is the best part, is being in touch with all these fishermen worldwide.
Yeah. No, that's fantastic, man. It's a you built out a really impressive niche for yourself,
Yeah,
and
no, I
few
appreciate.
people are able to do that, and that's tremendous. And you're able to straddle that sphere, which is just it's awesome. I
It,
really hope that it works out and it only goes north for you.
yeah,
Really
no,
do.
listen, it's like fishing. Some days are good, some days are bad.
Yeah.
It's not always pointing up, but as long as the ups outnumber the downs, you're doing good, man. I don't, and besides, I have fun. I get to talk about fishing all fucking day long, you know?
Could be worse things to talk about.
Yeah, I could be shaking paint in a hardware store,
Yeah.
or I could,
Yeah.
be a divorced teacher. So, but no, I get to fly all over the world and go fishing. No, listen, every night I thank the good Lord every night. Thank you so much for everything you've given me. Because yeah, there's no complaints on my part. There's none. Even the bad days. I got to learn something from today. There's something that is going to come from today, and somehow it does. That's the way I look at life. You know, it's like I don't know if you've ever seen the meme where there's a bus driving on the cliff and one guy's looking at the rocks and it looks horrible. On the other side, the guy's looking at the open, vast prairie of all this beautifulnul. I try to be the guy that always looks at the vast.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, okay, so we're on the side of the road. We could roll over and die, but I'm not
You
dying
know,
yet.
it's interesting that someone very significant in my life most recently said you got to have an abundance mindset, right? And you read things, right? But when you start to hear people really echo it, right? And you get in between the noise and the signal of life, you sit there and you go, wow, this person's substantially more accomplished. I probably shouldn't be sitting at this table with them right now, but we're going to let that ride. And, I think it's so important, right? Like you said, vastness. Like you got to look at what you can do. And it's can be sometimes hard to do that, but it's really the key to having that mindset and looking at things, in that
Well,
manner.
it's very similar to fishing. If you're going out there thinking you're not going to catch anything, why the
Mhm.
fuck are you going out there?
Yeah.
If you really leaving the dock thinking, they're not biting, they haven't been biting, why am I going? Then why go?
Yeah.
You're going because you're expecting to catch fish. So if I'm going to pick up the phone and call somebody, if I'm going to do something, I'm doing it on the premise that I'm going to be successful. That's just, I don't know, that's just my personality. I, I, you know, I do things because I plan on winning. I don't always achieve my goal. I don't get upset for it. Okay, what did I learn? I had something at the beginning of this week, some shit happened and it threw a wrench into all kinds of shit. And I said, let me just hold off on this for 2 days and see what happens. And I didn't even need full 2 days. I think I gave it something like 12 hours. And it's like, yeah, fuck it. Don't worry about it. And literally, poof, all this other stuff started happening. I'm like, aha, that's why that shit happened. That's why that wrench happened because there was other stuff that was coming down the road and I just didn't see it. So yeah, like you said, look for abundance.
Yeah.
Look for abundance. Look at it as half full instead of half empty. So,
It's important.
Dean, is there anything we missed? Is there anything you want to add before we wrap this up?
Yeah, I think we covered a lot of it. We covered a lot of real estate on this call. And
Well,
this is gonna be late March where we're recording this, so I'm kind of curious to see where it's gonna go. But
it's
it's
as
been
of
fun.
as of right now, you're going to be, and I don't like announcing, but I'll tell you,
Oh,
it's.
don't, that's fine. Keep
Yeah,
it surprise. It'll be
no, no,
fun.
no. I'll tell you afterwards. I'll tell you
Okay.
afterwards. You already threw the march out there, so when it pops out, people are
Oh,
going
I'm
to say,
sorry.
"Yeah, it's all good. It's all good." I it's because I got to stay ahead. Like when we were in Chubb last week, I wasn't recording, so
Yeah.
I as much as I want to be up to date, and there are times like I'm doing a podcast on next Tuesday. That's
Uh-huh.
literally I have left open Thursday because it's such a time sensitive topic.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I, I've opened that date up and I didn't fill anything. So I'm literally recording it and putting it in there. I also have invites to two US senators to be on there.
That's
So
awesome.
if they join us, I don't want them to have to wait 5 weeks or 4 weeks or whatever, you fall into it. So yeah, but I want to stay ahead because I still do a lot of traveling. After my tournaments, I'm fishing a tournament in Costa Rica. Then I'm going to the Middle East, which everybody knows at this time of the taping, there's a bunch of shit going on in the Middle East. So
Yeah,
literally,
yeah, yeah.
my eye is on the news every day. I've already had to change my flights because I connect right in the Persian Gulf, and it's like the airline's like, "Yeah, we're not flying there anymore."
Wow.
So
That's it's spicy, man. Let's hope that you get your trip in,
yeah.
like there's some folks that are definitely affected by there, and let's just hope this
Oh my gosh,
crisis
there's
let's
hopefully
hope
it
the
ends
crisis ends soon. Yeah.
very soon. I have a lot of friends. I've been fishing over there now 9 years. We
Oh
talked it.
wow.
Oh yeah,
Cool.
I started back in 18 or 19. I'm trying to think. We hosted the first ever international fishing tournament in the history of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So
That's
uh,
awesome, man.
right now we're working on uh, building the first ever fishing club in the history of the kingdom.
Huh.
And
Wow.
we were talking about the Gulf of Oman.
Yeah.
There's a tournament out of Fujairah, and I've been texting back and forth with the major in the Coast Guard over there. He is the host of a tournament, and I fished that tournament 4 years, and I've won it twice in back-to-back years. But it's so funny because right when our aircraft carrier went in, that's where I fish, right there. And to think that I was there fishing and now there's all this, craziness going on. So, yeah, listen, Blue Marlins go everywhere. There are no fences, brother. There are no fences. They don't, they speak Blue Marlin. They don't speak English. They don't speak Arabic. They don't speak Japanese. They speak fucking Blue
So
Marlin.
true. It's
And
so true.
my job is to go catch me a Blue Marlin, well, no matter what language they speak in. I don't
So true.
care. So give your website and your email again for anybody that didn't get it earlier.
Yeah, it's canyonrunner.com and info@canyonrunner.com. You can reach us. I'll send you something for your show notes, however you want to do it.
Okay.
And
I can put it in the bio so everybody can check it out.
great.
And
Awesome.
then just hold up right here while I say goodbye to everybody. I want to say thank you to you first and foremost, Dean. Thank you for joining us and sharing your story with us. And everybody who's listening, thanks for spending some time with us. And we will check you guys later.